A crisp autumn day in 1971, when the Perron family, Roger, Carolyn, and their 5 daughters, moved into their dream home in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Little did they know they were about to experience one of the most chilling, haunting cases in American history. The 200-year-old farmhouse seemed perfect at first glance. 14 rooms, a sprawling property, and that classic New England charm. But from their very first night, something felt off. The girls would wake up to see figures standing at the foot of their beds. Objects would mysteriously move on their own. And that was just the beginning. The most terrifying entity was a malevolent spirit they called Bathsheba. Historical records showed that Bathsheba Sherman had lived on the property in the 1800s. Local legend painted her as a practicing witch who had sacrificed her infant child to the devil. Now her dark presence seemed to have a particular fixation on Carolyn Perron, the mother. Enter Ed and Lorraine Warren, perhaps America's most famous paranormal investigators. When they arrived at the house, Lorraine, a self-proclaimed clairvoyant, immediately sensed the darkness that pervaded the property. She described it as a portal to hell, a place where multiple spirits dwelled, some benevolent, others deeply malicious. The Warrens discovered that before Bathsheba, 8 generations of families had lived and died in that house. Many met tragic ends: suicides, mysterious drownings, and unexplained deaths. The land itself seemed to hold centuries of negative energy. Things escalated quickly during their investigation. Carolyn began experiencing violent spiritual attacks. She would be thrown across rooms, develop mysterious bruises, and wake up with needle-like puncture wounds. The children weren't spared either. They'd feel their beds shaking, smell rotting flesh, and hear doors slamming throughout the night. What makes this case particularly compelling is that all 5 Perron daughters have consistently corroborated these events throughout their lives. They've never wavered from their story, even decades later. Andrea Perron, the eldest daughter, even wrote a trilogy about their experiences called House of Darkness, House of Light. Unlike many haunting cases that ended with the family fleeing, the Perrons stayed in that house for 10 years. They couldn't afford to move, trapped in their own nightmare. They learned to coexist with the spirits, both good and bad, developing an unusual relationship with the supernatural world that most of us only see in movies. This case would later inspire the hit movie The Conjuring, but the real story, according to the Perrons, was far more terrifying than what Hollywood portrayed. It's a reminder that sometimes the most frightening stories aren't the ones we make up. They're the ones that actually happened, leaving their mark on both the people who experienced them and the places where they occurred.